There is an interactive part of this one.
I'm really upset.
If you didn't bring a pen or a pencil, you can have one of mine. I've counted them, it's a brand new box. You have to return them all. Just because I'm the digital guy doesn't mean I don't need them. Everyone loves stealing them on me. Cool. Alright. So there are a few familiar faces here in the room. But for those of you that don't know me, I'm Ben Paparoulas. I am the Computer Assisted Learning Environment Project Lead at Beenleigh State School. And I'm also the ICT coach at Rainworth State School. I have worked as the Principal Project Officer for Technologies for the Department of Education, which is what I was doing before I came back to the classroom. I have actually taught prep through to Year 12, and I'm also a sessional tutor here at Griffith. So I have gone from every part of the spectrum, but I'm actually a trained secondary teacher. So I can speak to both sets of people in the room. So I wasn't too worried about whether there were any primary teachers, but that's okay. You can ask me about ICT coaching, explicit instruction, inquiry learning, technologies curriculum, that's my thing. Managing school ICT infrastructure and anything generally techie, because I am a typical nerd and geek and I love the Big Bang Theory, and I was also the inspiration for the computer programmer from Series 7 of the Lego minifigures. And you can check out my Twitter, which is just my name, to make it nice and easy. So, being a tech guy and rocking like 3 or 4 devices at once, today I thought I would pull the plug. When I was working, travelling all over the state and talking about technologies curriculum, the first question I would always get is, I have 0 funding, Ben, how are you expecting me to teach this? And my answer was, you don't need a computer. All you need is a pencil and paper. Then I challenged everyone to show me where it said a computer in the curriculum, because I got laughed out of the room. So, to demonstrate how easy it is to teach concepts from the digital technologies curriculum, taking your post-it note in front of you, I would love you to draw a pig.
Where are these pens gone?
Get a pencil. Who took my pencil? Laura. There we go. Do not show your partner, cover it up, hide it. You know, this is like a test. Because as teachers, we love giving tests, we rarely like taking them.
My pen's dying, sorry.
Mine doesn't want to work on
Oh, I got there, I
It
think.
doesn't want to work on the pencil.
You do not have to be a Picasso, but please make it evident, because I'd like to take them with me. If you ever become famous, you're my ticket to early retirement.
It would look better if it was a pencil.
Pen is just too high tech for this activity. Come on. Okay, another couple of seconds. And if you're finished, you can hold your masterpiece up to the person next to you. It doesn't look like a pig.
Hey! We went front here.
Awesome. So, my next question to you then, and here's my scribble of a pig at 5:30 this morning, using my trackpad. So I did the high-tech version of it. So a pig can look like, a pig can look like many different things to many different people. However, we do agree on some key features. So what are some key things that when you hold up your post-it note, you go, gee, that's a pig. I know that's a pig straight away.
Tail.
Curly tails, snouts.
Snout,
What about the pointy ears?
pointy ears.
The shape?
Looks like a dog pig.
Whoever told you that's what a pig looks like? I know no one that ever taught me that a pig must have a curly tail. In fact, my family are farmers and most of their pigs don't have curly tails. They generally don't have pointy ears, and the only defining feature is a snout that you generally tend to see. So the biggest thing is that a pig is a pig because we know that snouts, curly tails, pointy ears are things that we've just picked up on over the years. You never sat in a classroom and your teacher's gone, yep, so a pig looks exactly like this. The biggest thing here is that this teaches one of the key underpinnings of the digital technologies curriculum, and that is abstraction. We hide certain aspects of information to be able to solve problems. Now, this underpins everything you do in the computing world since day dot, but I don't need a computer to teach it. And I can teach all of the key concepts of the curriculum, including programming, without having a physical computer in front of me. And the biggest thing for me as a teacher is that by pulling the plug, I can focus on the effective delivery of the digital technologies curriculum. That's one of my, that's when I'm at Beenleigh, that is my mandate, is to deliver the curriculum because I am a specialist teacher, amongst other things. That came to me after the first group of teachers I met in far north Queensland that told me they wanted hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach the curriculum, and I said, you get what I get, and that's a big fat zero. And the thing about pulling the plug means that we can create some really engaging opportunities for our students and get them to do things in new and exciting ways. So I don't know if you've ever seen the YouTube clip, there's lots of them with SandwichBot or coming up with making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I love doing this with my students at the start of the year to teach them all about algorithms. I actually dress up as a robot. I bring in a jar of Nutella or Vegemite, depending on what the class likes, a loaf of bread, and they instruct me to make a sandwich. Needless to say, thank goodness I dress up because I end up with butter, Nutella, Vegemite, everywhere but on the bread that's sitting in front of me. Just as well I like all of them. I didn't think it was that great until, and I'd only been at the school for 5 days, I turned up the next day and my principal walks up to me, tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey SandwichBot, how's it going? I'm like, how did you find out? He goes, ask the 200 and something students that have done SandwichBot this week. So they were raving about it. And we hadn't even touched a computer because the one thing about teaching technologies is there are two ends of the scale. You either like it or you hate it with a passion. So how do you kind of get everyone to meet you at the middle and like turning up to your 30-minute or 60-minute lesson each and every single week? Lego is another really great one for teaching algorithms. I actually take the 3-in-1 creator kits and we get one student on one side of the table to actually construct the Lego, and on the other side you've got the other student acting as the programmer providing the instructions from the manual. They're not allowed to see what's going on, so the manual's up like this and the builder can't actually see it, and then they reverse the roles. That's an awesome one. CS Unplugged, doing sorting networks, and paper programming is another really great one. So there are so many places that you can find different activities to allow you to pull the plug. You've got CS Unplugged, code.org, Lego, there's stuff on YouTube. If you're a maths teacher, most of these have been rebranded as Maths Unplugged as well because they teach a lot of concepts in there as well. So I guess my challenge to you today is, as teachers, we often rely a lot on the technology that sits in front of us to help us deliver a lesson, whether that's that laptop that you've got in front of you. Take the moment to unplug and refocus on your pedagogy and look at that way of delivering the curriculum.